Gino has a lot of PTSD with his previous relationship.
All right, come on. You gonna trivialize PTSD like that? He was a loser that chose a horrible woman, but trivializing PTSD when we have veterans out there who really, truly have PTSD? Come on, Natalie, do better. 90 Day Fiancé produces the most breakups I think we've ever seen with Happily Ever After because no one's happy. No one at all. Gino and Jasmine, done. Kara and Guillermo, done. And Andrei is hiding things nonstop. How much money did he lose? We will see, but before we get to that, make sure you comment, like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, share with your friends. I appreciate all the support. Y'all are amazing. Let's get right to it because I can't wait to get into the drama that is 90 Day Fiancé and every single spinoff they have. We're just going to start this off by Gino quite possibly getting aroused by sniffing flowers. Well, this is going to be a good episode.
I deserve to be happy. And we have a good thing going, Natalie and I, right now. And
You have a no thing going. You have nothing going on with Natalie. You went and saw her out in Vegas once, and now all of a sudden you think somehow this is going to be some crazy good relationship, when in reality, you haven't even closed things off with Jasmine yet. So, that again, with this whole thing, it's quite possibly them trying to remain relevant. That would not shock me at all as they were filming this. But still, Gino, I think, is just quite possibly delusional.
The bubbles going, and
yeah,
let's get in the hot tub. How about that?
It's not a bad idea.
That's a good idea.
It's a good idea.
That's a good idea. That's not a bad idea. Let's get in the hot tub so I can act really, really awkward and try to make excuses about why I don't want to be with you intimately. Or is that Jasmine? Or is it also going to be Natalie? Gino is Gino through and through, and that never changes.
Something doesn't feel right. Like, it feels like I'm still
married.
Yeah, it kind of feels like I'm still married.
Kind of feels like you're still married because you are still married. And this is just Gino trying to make excuses because literally she asked him to stay the night and stay in the hotel. And although that's completely up to Gino, he doesn't have to stay. It's just interesting how Gino immediately has to go into excuse mode when in reality, Jasmine had no problem with any of this. And Gino's supposed to be done with Jasmine. But yet apparently he just likes the drama.
It's hard to get these thoughts out of my head, and I can't, put the moves on Natalie right now.
As you can see, here we go with Gino trying to make excuse after excuse of to why he cannot be intimate with someone. He did it with Jasmine. Now, I give you a little bit of leeway with Jasmine because Jasmine's just awful. She is just god awful. And look, I'm sure Natalie probably would not be the best either, but she hasn't really shown a lot of that craziness yet, and it seems like Gino's just having to find every excuse in the book to not stick around and, maybe he just forgot his Viagra at home. Maybe that's all it was. He forgot his Viagra at home, and now he's got to make an excuse and just trying to find a distraction at this point. Just so much going on right now. It's like an old Family Guy skit.
I'm not in love with her anymore. I'm telling you, I'm real with that.
Well, then why do you feel like you have to have...
It's almost like guiltiness.
Why on earth would you feel guilty about this? Now, if you are simply arguing the marriage argument, you're still married, I can get behind that argument. End it. Stop trying to act like every financial thing you're trying to find the right time with a recession or something so you don't have to give her much money. End it, and then you can move on with your life if you're just arguing you're still married. But that's not what he's doing here. He's claiming to feel guilty. There's no reason to feel guilty because she was the one gallivanting off with Matt and claiming that it was because there was an open marriage, when in reality, she was the one not following the rules. But you'll see how she brings it back to, oh, but he's not following the rules now because all of a sudden the rules matter, but it didn't matter to her. But yet Gino is just being a ridiculous idiot.
Drinks, fireworks, a show.
I think you could probably put two and two together, that this was because he's already told them you're moving there, but yet you're still acting surprised that, oh, this giant Moldovians, how they party and everything. Except for the fact that he basically already told you he's not taking no for an answer, and then this giant party. I'm pretty sure we can do the math here.
We are not moving here just yet. That hasn't been a decision that we made together.
I'm pretty sure he's already shown that he doesn't give a damn about making a decision together, but you want to keep, spewing this whole thing about we haven't done this together, sure. It just seems like he's pretty good at wearing you down and then just doing what he wants anyway. So I think you might as well just drop the facade because you always end up going with, what he says, which, if that's your dynamic, that's up to y'all. But you're acting like you really don't want to move there, and yet now you're trying to act like, we're actually going to have a conversation when that's just not going to happen. You're either going to have to say, I'm not moving there, or you're going to go along to get along. I'm going to guess she's going to go along to get along.
I feel like you're stupid because you don't understand
it's
my
getting
side
real.
right now. You cannot be that stupid.
Okay, so it's not that he doesn't understand your side, it's that he's decided that he just wants to be the one that makes the decisions. Again, if that's your dynamic, fine. But in reality, she's acting like she doesn't like that, and, he's not listening to her, all of these things. I mean, he's not listening to her because he's going to do what he wants to do. But then she's saying this like she doesn't already know that. Like, this is what kills me. Her acting like she doesn't already know that this is how he is, that she married this, that she's okay with this and been okay with this in the past, is kind of ridiculous. And acting like you're mad now, like this is all of a sudden some sort of shocking thing that he's just going to make the decision to move to Moldova. None of this is new. Everyone in the world knows this except for you, apparently.
Trying to control where are we going to set up our life.
I mean, if this is not the epitome of gaslighting, look, again, overused, but yet in these shows, they always seem to find a way to use it accurately. In this case, he is the one trying to say where they go and everything, but then puts it back on her and saying, it's like you're trying to do this because you want to stay in the U.S., when really, she's being more of a reasonable one and saying, I'm not saying I won't move there, I just want to see and talk about it. But yet, he just, of course, it's never going to be his fault. That's pretty obvious here. So, pushing it back on her is the only option he has. And right now, he's amongst friends because he's with his family. So he knows that ultimately, people are going to be on his side.
Go get a shower.
I'm going to take a shower.
Change your mood.
I'm going to take a shower.
Go take a shower and please, change your mood, crazy woman. That's the part he wanted to say, but he left in the thought bubble. He's like, you go take a shower and change your mood. It's like, I mean, what does that even mean? Like, you're going to go and just wash the mood away and come back and like, oh, Andrei, I feel so much better now. Yeah, I'm sure.
It'd be nice to know, what my husband does. I want to be proud. Be like, yeah, my husband's the director of operations.
It is very bizarre that she doesn't know what he does, really, and she doesn't know how much he makes. I mean, if you're just simply working out budgets in everyday life, both, husband and wife are working, you have to know what the money situation is. I know some people keep separate bank accounts, and if that's your thing, I guess, but you still have to know what money is coming in for a budget. So it's very bizarre, this right here, and it also makes me think, what is he trying to hide in this sense? And I'm no fan of her, but at the same time, it's just a really weird situation, and she's got a point here.
Uncomfortable that I was like, maybe we should just take a second and find ourselves individually a little bit.
And as she's explaining to her friends here what happened between her and Guillermo, she neglects to really actually go out there and say she asked him to leave. She says, yeah, I said maybe we need to take some time and all this, really downplaying the fact that she asked him to leave. And that's not coming from him. She said that on her little interview to the side, but yet to her friends, she's going to really downplay it. Is there a reason for that? I don't know. She's not trying to seem like he actually did what she asked him to do, so he might not be the bad guy here.
I just feel like if Guillermo can't show up, it's going to be really hard to come back from. I don't know.
That is a hell of an equivocation there, saying basically, if he doesn't show up for me at this performance, which he's let you know he's uncomfortable with in the past, then that's going to be a problem for your marriage. She's trying to equate him not coming to her performance with not showing up in the marriage at all. There are many things you can be upset with him about, I don't know, dropping his or quitting his good job that had good benefits to be a waiter somewhere. You can be mad about that. But at the same time, making it seem like that your marriage basically hinges on him coming to this performance is one of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard. And it seems like it's her trying to find a reason to get out because she knows that she's claiming she's going to go after this performance, work with a producer in Italy, which is also kind of weird to go to Italy to meet a producer. But all right, do that. She thinks her music career is taking off. Maybe she'll be free without Guillermo holding her down. That's what it seems like to me, and she's trying to find any excuse.
Huge fight escalating.
It was crazy, to be honest. I was like, what the Andrei was a dick and she flipped out. That's what happened.
So they came to this dinner and they start talking about the argument with Andrei and, you know, Noga and everything from before. This is like the second or third time it's been brought up since it happened. It's like they don't have anything else, so yet they're going to keep bringing up this drama. This kind of stuff is ridiculous. Move on. Either if you have the same old tired storylines, then I'd rather y'all just have a good dinner and just sit there and eat and talk about random, boring things, because at least that would mimic real life. Instead, y'all are still trying to bring up the drama of Andrei and Noga, which everyone's over and moved on from.
I mean, I can't imagine it's going very well, because Andrei gotta own up to losing $75,000.
Whoa, what? Say what now? Now, as they go on to explain, Andrei mentioned to them, or the guys, that he had an investment property, put $75,000 into it, and might have quite possibly lost it, while not telling his wife that he might have been completely scammed. Now that is the drama y'all need to bring up, because that is the kind of stuff that really will sell your ratings, because that is a lot of money. I don't know what the damn show is paying them, but $75,000 in a scam investment property in Moldova while you're trying to move there? Now that's a scandal.
No, but really, he just kind of nonchalantly just said it.
And that's the funny part, is when he's telling them, he's saying it nonchalantly, like it's no real big deal, and yet he hasn't told his wife, and yet he hasn't owned up to it. So it's obviously a big deal, and he thinks it's going to be something that kind of blows up, but yet he's telling the guys like it's no big deal. Which is very interesting.
No, he said he invested in this construction building.
Yeah.
And then now the company that's supposed to build the building is unreachable or something.
That's called a scam. And oh, by the way, mentioning earlier that the Moldovan government is pretty corrupt, even though he tried to blame it on, you know, occupation, and I think he tried to blame it on Russia, which may be the roots of it from years ago, doesn't change the fact that you still have a corrupt government, and then yet you decide to invest in a real estate company, not saying that that's the government, but if you know there's corruption over there, probably not the best thing to do to invest in some sort of real estate with people you don't know. It just all screams scam, and yet Andrei, well, apparently he was the smartest person in the room to just go ahead and pull the trigger on it. I hope they don't figure out that I really miss Jasmine dominating me.
After last night's rejection, I'm really realizing that Gino has a lot of PTSD with his previous relationship.
All right, come on. You're going to trivialize PTSD like that? Gino does not have PTSD from his previous relationship. He was a loser that chose a horrible woman and then paid the price for it. Shocker. But trivializing PTSD when we have veterans out there who really, truly have PTSD? Come on, Natalie, do better.
Why couldn't Michelle ask me, hey, is it okay if I invite Jasmine to the party?
Okay, I think it is absolutely ridiculous that Michelle invited Jasmine, because it's starting to seem like Michelle actually likes the drama, because why else would you invite her? But that being said, it's up to her. It's not up to Gino. So Gino's saying, why didn't you ask me, Michelle? If you would have asked me, I would have said no. Well, it's not your party, Gino. It's your cousin's party, from what I understand. She can invite who she wants. You can also say, I'm not going to bring Natalie to this party. But you also decided to do that. So clearly, we were looking for some sort of confrontation. But Gino acting like the world needs to revolve around him is ridiculous. And he's an idiot.
I mean, how bad can she be?
Oh, famous last words. How bad she could be. Well, she's pretty much the most awful person on this show, and I'm pretty sure that Natalie already knows this, because, I mean, I'm sure, even if she didn't watch the show before all this happened, which I know she did, because there's no other reason for her to be here except to try to get some publicity. Why else would you be with Gino? But it would only take a minor amount of research to really just see a few clips of Jasmine to be like, good God, she has no soul. What? Why are they playing like an intro like they're from some 60s or 70s sitcom? I guess, and my wife pointed out correctly, that they are living in a cabin in Texas, and it kind of does play out like a sitcom, so kudos to you, 90 Day Fiance. Played that one well.
Medicine or make a cream or whatever, I don't know.
I won't agree with Adnan on many things, but I agree with the I know this is a thing that people do, the placenta thing, but sorry. Good God. And then they decide to try to make him feel better by showing him a placenta and talking to him about how they're going to freeze dry it and make it into capsules and whatnot, so she can take them like pills, like medicine. So, yeah, it didn't make it much better.
This is a safe space, no matter
yes.
what your religion, your culture, your race, whatever.
Sure.
We really want it to be warm.
Okay, so listen, they want it to be warm and comforting no matter your background. And then they follow up with, well, that's why there's so many uteruses, vaginas, and something else, which completely contradicts what they just said. I mean, I don't know what you'd expect if you go into a doula office. I'm sure you would expect that. Now, he's from another country, so maybe not him. Most people would. But why are you saying that you're trying to make it, like, comforting to everybody and then follow it up with that number?
Since we're just showing you.
Okay, placenta encapsulation specialist. Is that like a thing you go to school for? Because she's a specialist. I wonder who I mean, hey, if that's your job, power to you if that's like your calling. I mean, everyone's got a calling and wants to do certain things. I'm just curious how you fall into that profession. That's an interesting one. A fluffy cat. Child, get away from that thing. That's a damn raccoon. That raccoon might have rabies. They put that thing in a cage. You don't know where that thing's been. Good Lord, man.
I traveled 24 hours. Salute.
Okay, and originally he was supposed to be coming to help her look at some real estate and things like that. You know, he traveled for 24 hours, which some of these countries with layovers and changing flights and things can be that long. I lived in Japan. We had been at points traveled for close to 24 hours before with all of those things. So it does happen. If you're coming over there to travel that long, you know you're there for more than just looking at some houses. So he's clearly there trying to play interference with the whole my daughter's moving to Moldova thing.
The construction thing that he invested in, still haven't seen.
Look, she mentions the construction thing he invested in, so she knows about the investment, obviously. And then he gets the faces he's making are really kind of nervous. So he probably did lose that money for sure. So he's definitely avoiding going to check out that whatever investment he has.
I didn't put more money what the initial investment was.
Oh, what was that?
5,000, that's it.
Oh, that's it. 75,000, that's it. That's all. And you got Chuck is asking him questions about it, which he probably doesn't like.
Did you know he was putting 75,000 of your money in investment property here?
She's of your money. I do wonder. Now, they are married, so regardless of if he's a deadbeat, she chose him. They're married. What happens when you're married? You're kind of got the communal property thing going on, depending on the state and all that. But as a marriage, you're supposed to be bringing things together. So she made that decision. It's all yours together. And he makes her sure to say that, saying it's our money. So I don't know where the money is. It's probably mostly hers because I know he was trying to rope Chuck in and get him a job and investments early on in their relationship. Although I haven't followed it too much, so I don't know if that's changed or what his current status is. But either way, her dad starts to call him out, at least pointing out some of these things without being outright, you did this kind of thing. So this will be interesting how it plays out when it all comes to light.
Like to have fun, to Georgi's is like double trouble.
Oh, yeah.
Double trouble? Oh my gosh. So his best friend is Georgi, or a friend of his Georgi. They're going to see the double Georgis, blah, blah, blah. That actually is just completely overshadowed by the godly amount of self-tan, spray tan, whatever the hell she did. My God, I just read the article talking about she's trying to downplay her look, and yet here we are.
Asam Georgi hubaveca večnia tergen. Na Balkanski półostrów няма drug kat men.
So the song about the Georgis is the next biggest hit in Bulgaria, apparently, because good Lord, what a catchy toe tapper that was.
And I want them to be happy for me and proud for me.
I think that there's a good chance they're going to see her and be like, what is wrong with your face is the first reaction. Because they're this conservative Bulgarian family. They're not going to know what the hell you've done to yourself, but they're going to know it's not right.
You know I'm friends with Jasmine, right?
I don't understand why Michelle feels the need to tell everyone she's friends with Jasmine. For one, you picked the wrong horse. The right horse would be neither one of them because they're both god-awful, Gino included. But you decided to hitch your wagon to Jasmine? I mean, she couldn't possibly be more blatant about how awful she is. I mean, Gino's awful, but you're kind of stuck with him because you're married to the cousin. You don't have to like what he does, but the interesting thing is her basically backing Jasmine more than anything.
I'm really not trying to cause trouble.
Oh, okay.
But honestly...
Oh, he knows. He knows. Look at that. She's not trying to cause trouble, but you decide to bring up the fact that he went out with Jasmine. Now, obviously that didn't end well, and Gino needs to be honest with Natalie about saying, hey, I backtracked a little bit with Jasmine, but the fact that Michelle brought it up, none of that was her place. And the fact is I don't see her calling out Jasmine. If it was equal and she called out both of them, I might be able to get behind it. But she's more likely to call out Gino than she is Jasmine for her BS behavior, staying with Matt and claiming they're roommates while basically sleeping with him every single day and still trying to act like we're just friends. It is all dumb, but she won't call that out. Look at him. Look at him walking behind like a little puppy dog. Like, that is a pathetic, sorry excuse for a man that deserves a... Because that is just sorry. That is sorry and pathetic. Look at him. I mean, that is a sorry excuse for a human being. Walking behind her like she is just owning him, and she does, because he's pathetic.
Both of us had to agree.
Oh, okay. The rules. See?
He agreed on Matt, cool.
See, she brings up the rules, and he agreed on Matt, and she proceeded to break every single rule other than he agreed on Matt, which you basically pushed him in a corner for. Yes, Gino was stupid enough to do it, but the fact that you're crying the rules now when that doesn't matter for you, right? Jasmine is the epitome of, you better not do that, but I'm going to do whatever the hell I want. And that's what makes her an awful human being, amongst other things.
Why are we bringing the horse from Vegas?
And that's how she starts it. Because, listen, you want to be mad at Gino, fine. But I will say, this girl really didn't do nothing to you, so you can be mad at her all you want. As you bring Matt behind you, the trailing, pathetic puppy dog that you probably just screwed before you got there. So make it make sense. You can't, because Jasmine is that horrible of a human being. Gino's awful too, so there's no excuses for him for a lot of the stuff he does, but damn, she's just on another level.
Jack is just finding all the bad spots because he wants to keep his daughter back in America.
Yes. I mean, I'm sure he's pointing out things that are legitimate when he's pointing out the bad spots, but yes, of course he wants to keep his daughter in America. Are you high?
It's beautiful. It seems a lot more spacious than most of the places I've been in.
Except it didn't look anything like a home that would be good for kids. The marble floors, all the pointed edges, chandeliers, nothing screams this will be good for kids in this home. But I will say, he definitely was trying to show you places you would like, really trying to make it seem like we could actually live here, which, gotta give it to him, he's not a dummy in that aspect. He knows that he has to show you things you'll like to get you to actually want to move over there.
I see the potential, and who knows? Maybe it will work out.
See? Told you. And that's the face of, I know I got you, and I am happy about it.
Living room, and I saw her giggling in the phone. And when I asked her who that person was, she simply said that was not my business.
That is the interesting part about this whole thing. So, Guillermo didn't go to the performance, but they asked him about how this whole thing came about. Now, coming from his perspective, if you go in there and you say, hey, well, who are you laughing with? Who are you talking to? And you're just like, hey, what's going on? Who's that? And you say it's none of your business. Your first inclination is going to be, what are you trying to hide? Why are you saying it's none of my business? This is all interesting, and it's going to prick up your ears. For her, it may seem like, oh, why is he asking me these questions? Like, oh, you should trust me. But for him, it's kind of like, why on earth would you even say it's none of your business? So it seems to me like she probably was trying to hide something, and it goes to the whole explanation of she really is just looking for an out at this point because she wants to just go be some superstar somewhere and wants to live that kind of lifestyle, the club life, the performance life, and he doesn't fit in there because that's not his thing.
Almost not clothes, and I've said like, yo, that makes me a little bit weird. And every time I said that, she's like, who the do you think you are to tell?
And yes, I absolutely can see her doing that. And he goes on to say he's not trying to tell her what to wear, but he's pointing out the fact that you can almost see her crotch in that short skirt. Now, he wasn't there for this performance, but he's just talking about back past things and everything. And apparently she gets very offended if he points out the fact that you have absolutely no clothes on, leaving little to the imagination. And you know what? If you want to wear what you want to wear, that's up to you. But having it pointed out and getting all offended, and then him saying this is kind of the reason I don't want to go to the performances makes more sense than she makes it sound like. Instead, she's basically saying, our marriage is over because you didn't come to my performance. I think it's a little deeper than that. What is wrong with her? Yeah. She is literally walking around saying whore, prostitute, the same person who literally defines a prostitute by going on a sugar daddy website, posting herself up there and selling herself to the highest bidder. She is more of a definition of a prostitute than anything we know about Natalie. And what does that say about Gino? It says he's a disgusting human being too. No defense for Gino, they're both awful, but Jasmine, it's the pot calling the kettle black, basically.
I didn't do it. I'm going home.
Are you okay?
No.
It's like that she's all cussing, upset, that, B word, and then, are you okay? Are you okay, Natalie? I mean, come on, you want to talk about it? I'm sorry. Like, Gino is gotta be one of the most pathetic men I've ever seen. No man, he's more of a boy trapped in a man's body. Like, he is pathetic.
Oh my God.
You show her. Yeah.
Who said you showed her? Like, so that, I thought originally it was Michelle, but it doesn't look like she's the one that said that. But someone said you showed her. She came in like a cracked out psychopath, basically calling her whore over and over because she has no good comebacks, no good kind of things to say to dispute anything or put her down. So whore, 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 like a 5-year-old Tourette's patient. And yet here we are, someone saying you showed her. She didn't show anything but that she's quite possibly retarded.
I have the rings. And you think that you can come here and take everything away from me?
Look, and then they're saying, that's my husband, I have the rings. And this pathetic loser standing right here like, well, at least can I please sleep with you, Jasmine? Matt pretty much his inner monologue is pretty much Gino because that's how pathetic he is. And yet he gets to go home and sleep with her while she continually demeans him and makes him look like the most pathetic man because he's basically holding onto her coattails thinking one day they might be a thing. No, in fact, we know the truth of how this all unfolded. He got her pregnant and she still won't have anything to do with him, barely will let him be around the kid. That's how pathetic he is. I don't know who's more pathetic, Matt or Gino. Actually, it might be Matt at this point.
I don't want any part of it.
I understand.
Yes, that would be the smartest thing you did is end it right now, leave, go back to Vegas, live your life, meet someone else nicer that doesn't have to deal with this drama. So if this was all for publicity, then she learned her lesson. Go away. Just leave it alone because Jasmine's just going to be this nightmare every time, all the time. As you can see, the drama is real. The breakups are real and constantly just throwing just gasoline on the fire. That's all it is. Every week, more and more gasoline, even when couples are supposed to be broken up like Gino or Jasmine, or like Kara and Guillermo, they still got to play it out and see how much more they can grow the flames of the nightmare and the train wreck that it is. We will see how far they go because this is only episode 6. So obviously we got a whole lot more season to go to see how everything just crashes and burns. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, share with your friends. I definitely appreciate all the support. I will see y'all next time.